So I literally just freaking woke up and it's like 4 a.m. But this is honestly normal for me. I feel like I'm pretty nocturnal and I've been this way for a long time. It's a mixture of like my circadian rhythm being off for so long. Like my sleeping schedule has kind of been like this, usually not to 4 p.m. I guess it treads into that territory and then sometimes I scale back a little bit, but like usually, yes, it's not very good and it's been like this for a really long time. And I think it's also my nervous system too. And also, I'm just like, I'm sure that that's part of my circadian rhythm, but I'm just like much more energetic at night and stuff. And I probably conditioned myself to be that way as well. At least that's part of it. But I've always been that way. Like even since I was a little kid, even when I'm on like a quote unquote good sleeping schedule, like which I kind of never happened, but I don't know. I don't like it's inconvenient, but I just try my best not to be frustrated with it. Like I mean honestly, yeah, me having a sleeping schedule, like I kind of fear that judgment. So I know that I shouldn't seek that like affirmation from other people, but like I'm not looking for criticism in this video. I'm like I know what I could do better, right? And this is me doing better. This is me holding myself accountable as filming a video. It's not going to just instantly kind of change overnight. And I just need a lot of like patience and grace. Of course, while also like being held accountable, but like that's on me, right? Because like other people can be like, you need to do this and you need to do this, and like, you know, like Ariel, whatever, but it's me who has to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's like I'm the only one who really has the power to change things. Like other people can like influence me, but yeah. So last night, or really early this morning, I stayed up writing in my journal, and that's why I woke up so late, because I decided to use ChatGPT to figure out like my own framework and stuff for one thing. So I did that because I have like a framework that like I've been following and everything, but then I wanted like to create my own framework based on all of the knowledge that I've gained that feels more like intuitive to me and stuff. So I did that, and then I also used ChatGPT to figure out different characters I have. Oh yeah, and then also based on the framework, have like build like a day-to-day like schedule or something. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. Or just do my best, honestly. I get overwhelmed really, really fucking easy. Like this is all like I've done shit like this before, but like I have like this is like honestly my like embodiment right now is just like facing like I'm feeling the effects of neglect and dysregulation between my mind, body, and spirit, but especially just like my nervous system. And it's hard. Like I just like I'm telling you, like my entire life basically I've lived that way. So this is all fucking new to me. Like me, like not actually, but like I've just been trying all my life, but basically I've just kind of been in like pain my whole life. I didn't have like the tools or the understanding for it. And so now it's like something is changing, but it's new. Like I said, it's new to me. I've never gotten this far before. So just to be kind to me, I suppose, is what I'm asking. But for my daily ritual, I have like 5 different anchors, so they're like personalized daily framework. The 5 sacred anchors. So one is the anchor of grounding, nervous system, and self-regulation. Then I have different sections, so like time, purpose, and then like daily practices, or like each anchor has a different section for that. So then we have number 2, which is the anchor of alignment. So life, audit, and motion, time, purpose, and morning prompts and evening prompts. So I'm going to do this, and then I have use this as a guide too. Then the next one is anchor of integration, shadow self-talk, emotional triggers, time, purpose, process. And then we have a anchor of creation, so time, purpose, practices and focus, and challenge. And then I have anchored connection, so time, purpose, daily and weekly checks. And then I have a little note at the end that just says like important, no punishment but realignment. This is not a performance. It's an unfolding, messy, uncertain, captivating, and poetic. Is what I wrote, because I need to remind myself that like this is going to be messy, and it's like a lot of work behind the scenes. It's not like you just suddenly, I mean, it could be that, but like the realism of it is that like it often isn't, that you just like don't just straight up start waking up at like, I mean, you could and like good on you, but damn, like I just think that a lot of the times when people think of this journey, they often like think so much about like the self-discipline aspect of it. Like if they just like inconsistency, like just doing this and doing like, because I think consistency is part of it, right? It's like rebuilding that new like identity. But I also think that like that self-discipline, like people can often guide themselves like away by doing it. So like I can't find the words right now, but I don't think that self-discipline is always the answer. And for me at least, like I like me saying I can't do that, that's a block, right? But it's like no, like I don't really like function like that, because there's blocks that prevent me from having that self-discipline. And so it's like in order to remove those blocks, I have to figure out what is blocking me and ask questions, and then there's more blocks, and then I have to figure out what's blocking those ones, you know. So that's why I have those like 5 anchors, which like all serve a different purpose in my life, that I'll be practicing as necessary, like some daily, some weekly, some just whenever. And I also, like I said, made the different characters, so they all have different names and they all are a different part of me. Some of them are more masculine, some are feminine, some are more like androgynous and stuff. Let's see. Okay, so the first one is Oriel, which is very similar to my name, but Oriel is like childhood and teenage me. So for each character, I have a carries, a needs, and an offers. So just things that they carry, like for example, Oriel carries deep emotional vulnerability, old abandonment wounds, trauma fog, others' pains, destructive coping mechanisms, And then their needs, they need gentle presence, affection, healthy outlets for expression, consistency, to feel seen and understood without having to explain/ask for it, structure. And then offers raw truth, experience, humor and play, creativity, emotional depth, capacity to connect authentically. And yeah, then we have Flicker is what I named them because I just felt that it was suiting, but they could also go by like Shadow or Ghost. So Shadow or Ghost is like that version of me that's dissociated, that has a lot of inner chaos, that harms themselves, engages in things that are, not healthy at all, that has crash outs, I guess. Yeah. Existential numbness, impulsion, forgotten or buried pain. So they need safe embodiment to be seen without fear, creative or primal release, reliability, consistency in connection and effort, permission to feel and be, and patience and grace. And that's the one that I'm often, like, Shadow, like, whenever I start to be doing rough, like, even if I have a bad moment, it's usually Flicker who kind of takes over, but they manifested from Oriel, because all of them kind of manifested from Oriel, like, younger me, right? But, like, so Flicker did, and then later on, like, Atlas did too, and Atlas is, like, the protector, the survivor, which I feel like is pretty self-explanatory. And they're more masculine. I'm, like, Flicker is androgynous, and then Oriel is, like, mainly feminine. Just based on their energies and stuff. And then I have my higher self / my soul speaker, and I named her, Mahina, and she is deeply feminine. I named her Mahina because that is, like, the Hawaiian goddess of the moon, and my family is, my dad's side of the family has Hawaiian heritage, and when I went and spent some time out in Hawaii and learned about Hawaiian culture and everything, it really resonated with me. And when I found this name, I was like, I'm 100% like, this sounds perfect and stuff, because I, like, feel very, very drawn to the moon. And I think that that's also part of why I'm, like, nocturnal, is because that's when I have most of my, like, kind of feminine, like, spiritual energy flowing. And so I was like, this is literally perfect. But yeah, let's see. The first one is Carrie's. Oh yeah, so, like, Carrie's wisdom, clarity, intuitive knowledge, deep presence, unconditional love, truth beyond ego, patience, and grace. And then the needs, and then the offers too. It's like, I'm usually a fast reader, but it's dark in here. Okay. So next one is Cypher, and I love Cypher a lot, but Cypher is the one that I would say kind of took over last night, so to speak, or, like, I'm not saying I have, like, it's nothing like multi-personal, or what is it, dissociative identity disorder. It's nothing like that. It's just, like, it helps me define the different parts of me so I understand how to navigate it better, and understand, like, it just makes sense to me. It just makes sense, and I think it'll really help me have some more awareness in a way that's not so overwhelming, and just, like, all of these different parts of me just, like, merge into one, because it's like, before I was just trying to surrender and master, like, ego death, which, like, I've had moments of that before, like, whatever, but I really think that I need to walk before I can run. And just going straight from, like, because I had a lot of awareness, like, I was pretty conscious, but I feel like doing all of this work first and just enjoying my time in the cocoon is honestly what's most important right now. Like, I shouldn't try to rush into things, you know what I mean? So, the Mind Weaver is Cypher, and he's masculine. He carries patterns, narratives, deep analysis frameworks, clarity seeking, protective logic, criticism. And then he needs like mental stimulation, time to process and observe, structure and pattern making, trusted space for dialogue and knowledge. So yeah, Cypher. At first when I was doing him, I was like, I don't really resonate with him at all, but then once I started to think about it more, I was like, Cypher honestly has taken the lead a lot lately. And Cypher is also the part that can get like a bit obsessive about things, because like he just gets so fascinated that he'll just kind of like neglect everything else, and like, you know, yeah, that. And then also yeah, obsessive. Oh, and he's a huge perfectionist, which makes me a perfectionist at times too. And it can be hard because it's like this journey or whatever it's like that I'm going through, right? It's like he can be super analytical and not as emotional. So it's like as I'm going through my journal and stuff, or like I slip and I fall, and he's like decodes everything and why I did it or whatever, and just like kind of just harsh on me. Like he just provides criticism, like, and it's, you know. And then Atlas, who's just like the protector. So he's like hyper aware, vigilant, puts up his defense, he has expectations, he's resilient, he knows how to mask mistrust of rest, hyper independence, and exhaustion. I also really relate with Atlas. I feel like the name is self-explanatory. And then Alira is the creator and the alchemist. So she's mainly feminine. She carries untapped energy, pressure to create, blocked expression, longing for transformation and meaning. So she needs play, freedom, sacred time and space, inspiration, validation without perfection, transmutation, and integration. She's like who comes out when I write a poem, right? Okay. And then the last one is the embodied self. So that's like me currently. So Lyora is what I named her. It's like my light. They each have different names that have like symbolic meaning that I felt really resonated with me. So she carries flashes of alignment, awareness of identities and their power, somatic memory, bridge between spirit and body, perfectionistic pressure, fragility of presence, the effects of neglect and disharmony. She needs rituals that anchor presence, non-performative embodiment, nature, grace and patience, movement, rest, reassurance, to be seen fully and authentically, intentional growth, clarification, expectation, and time. She offers wholeness, presence, regulation, flow, somatic intelligence, the experience of being here now, transformation, access to intuition, sovereignty, resilience, and adaptability. So yeah, she's kind of the embodied self of all of them, basically. But for my anchors, let's see, 1 second. Okay, so for the anchor of grounding, it's 10 to 20 minutes daily. Just rewire the survival loop, calm your body so your soul can be heard. So somatic check-in, so like where am I holding tension? And then do some breathing exercises, some movement, like some stretching, or maybe a short walk with no distractions, or like 5 to 10 minutes of stillness, so just like meditation and things. And I'm going to do this. I could do this literally at any time, which is great, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go through these first, and then I'm going to like create my own little plan for the day. And this video is part of it. So anchor of alignment, time 10 minutes morning and night, journal, video, voice memos. That's where it's at. So I'm gonna do this now. So the purpose is to discern what fits, what needs adjusting, what drains you, and what uplifts. So it's just like to help me with my alignment and stuff, like as I go through the days, And as I continue to do these anchors and stuff and ask these questions, it's like I can reflect at the end of the day and like the beginning of the day and be like, oh, okay, so this is what needs adjusting, or this is what this is telling me, you know what I mean? So morning prompts, setting intentions. So setting intentions for the day. What would alignment feel / look like? When am I feeling resistance? Where am I feeling resistance? And what might it be trying to teach me? I'm gonna do a big stretch first. Okay, big stretch. Setting intentions for the day. Well, I have to kind of think about my day, what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna spend some time to myself as much as I have. And to kind of just like prepare and, you know, try this out. Especially because I have like work for the next 3 days in a row, which is awesome. And then I'm hanging out with my friend later. So I think in terms of that, I think that I want these intentions to be that maybe that I just do my best to stay grounded without placing that pressure on myself. I mean, like, just doing my best to give myself grace while staying grounded. I think that that's pretty fitting and stuff, because I feel like grace is a huge one that I need to do, especially just because it feels like my life is a mess, but it's like, because I'm like, oh, I woke up at 4 p.m. today, for example, right? And it's like, my life is a fucking mess. But it's like, then when I think like that, like, all these things I'm doing wrong, like, it only makes me more discouraged, right? So it's, I gotta be like, acknowledge, like, yes, like, waking up at 4 p.m. and going to sleep at 6 a.m. is not preferable, but it takes a lot of work and patience and effort and time to fix something that has been around for a very long time, right? It takes time to rewire my brain and unwire it and all these other things. And giving myself that approach, because it's just like, I think that my process could be a long one, but I think that it's absolutely necessary that grace and surrender comes with it, because like that inner, because that's when like kind of like flicker comes out, and then I know that my inner child is feeling like very scared of change, and possibly very neglected as well, and so it's like I have to kind of scale back and keep them in mind too, and that's why, but that's the thing, is I have to do that, like, even though it feels like they kind of hold me back sometimes, like, I have to do that, because if I neglect them, then I'm neglecting their needs, and then like the cycle will just repeat. But it's like I'm having to take care of them now, because like I never have in the past. So it's just like so much work that goes like behind the scenes, and it like often, like, why I say I need to give that myself that grace is because like that perfectionist comes in that like tries to make this into like a performance that is like says all these like mean things that like my ego is speaking to me, right? And just like trying to break me down. And I think it why your ego does that, why they try and hold you back by just saying all of this horrible shit to you, is because like they're scared of change and they don't want to change, and they're trying to grapple onto whatever they can, because they know that you're capable, they know that you can do this and you will do this. And so they grasp onto whatever they can to try and tear you down. And so instead of just saying like, no, like, I don't want to hear those voices, like, they don't serve me, like, yeah, they don't, but they could serve you, and you can turn it into that perspective and just like stop and listen to them and be like, okay, so they're saying this, but what are they actually saying? What do they need? What part of them is causing them to lash out? Because they feel hurt, they're provoked, but they feel hurt, right? And it's like, you're not supposed to like step on their toes or not have like their actions have consequences, but you can even just do something as simple as being like, in that moment, be like, hey, like, I hear you, I hear that this is what you want, we're not going to do that, but I see you and I hear you, and I'm in this moment with you, and I'm not leaving you. Just something like that. Okay, so yeah, I think setting intentions, just like doing my best to stay grounded, to try this out as well, and then just to give myself that grace. And also to, I think why I said staying grounded is because I think it's really important that I try and protect my energy today. Just because like the friend that I'm hanging out with, like it's not his fault, but he's just going through a lot, and I tend to very, very much, like, that's one of the gifts that Oriel gave me, is like I pick up on other people's energy really easily. And my entire life, it basically felt like I was in a room with other people. Like, I was in a room and everybody else's energy was like in this room with me, including my own. So it's like I couldn't differentiate like whose energy was whose and like how much of it, and so it just felt so overwhelming because I would mistake other people's like energy or like pain or discord like with my own, and like I wouldn't even realize it, and so I'd just be experiencing something and it would be someone else's pain, but like I wouldn't know. But now the way that I see it is like I'm able to much more like discern that energy and where it's coming from. So it's like I have my own little room here, and then there's like a hallway, and then attached to this hallway are a bunch of other rooms with like their doors either open and shut. And sometimes like I can feel people who have like their doors open all the time, because I feel like I have my I feel like I have my door open like most of the time, I suppose. That's why grounding is important, because then I learn when to close it, right? My voice is doing this. And I know other people. That's okay. I think I don't know what it is. I have other people who also have like their door open, and I can feel it no matter how far they are. But then there's some people that like there's so much unconscious disharmony in them. They don't even realize it either. And I feel it. Like, if I start navigating, like, for example, like, at work or something, and I start asking my coworkers questions, like, really gently to try and, like, figure out more about them and how they operate and stuff, and then, like, they'll start answering, and I'll be like, by the way, like, if you're ever uncomfortable with this, like, we don't have to talk about it. Like, it's okay. And they'll just be like, no, like, I'm comfortable talking about it. Like, I'm a completely open book. Like, I don't get triggered by this stuff. But then as we kind of continue and we reach more subjects, I can tell by observing them, by their responses, and by their energy, that they're unconscious, even though the conscious part of them is saying, yes, I'm fine with talking about this. The unconscious part of them is starting to feel majorly uncomfortable, and you can tell that you're pulling on strings. And that's when I know I'm a very good read at that. It's like sometimes I go maybe a little bit too far, but it's usually because people are in Discord already. So if you start pulling on those strings, they're really tender because no one has really taken the time and the presence to stop and listen to their story. And or at least once you do, not present, right? So once you do, it's like they're much more tender and sensitive to those things, even though they don't think they are, even though they think they're desensitive, they're numb to it. No, that's a trauma block. But under all of that blockages is you, vulnerable and tender and hurt. And usually when they say things like that too, it's like, like, not all the time, but like, they're desensitizing themselves. They're minimizing the wound because they think it's going to make it hurt less. And it does, maybe for a while, but then it starts to manifest and it's just not sustainable at all. Anyway, so, right, I think I was just going to talk about my friend's energy. It's not his fault, but I definitely am going to pick up on that, and I think that if it's okay with him, I might ask if I can pray while he's there. And he won't be able to understand what I'm saying because there's a language barrier, but that's fine. I just feel like it's something that I want to do, as long as he's comfortable with it, of course. So what would alignment feel and look like today? Well, for one, me doing this prompt right now, doing these morning prompts. And then I'm probably gonna go, it's just like what my day would look like, honestly. So going and making like a smoothie, and then probably like getting in the shower, and then if I have time, which I probably will, I'm going to go to a park and I'm going to do some meditating there and just enjoy nature, maybe go on a little walk or something. What would alignment feel / look like today? Yeah. What would it feel like today is me having an adequate amount of time, like time management, like me not misinterpreting time. That's what alignment would look like today, me having that time to be fully present. So yeah, presence, and maybe some productivity, but not in like a perfect way, like I get everything done, but in a way that when I look back, I'm like, I'm glad that I was able to do those things. Even if my day wasn't perfect and I woke up at 4 a.m., like, yes, I went to the park, I went on a little walk, I made myself some yummy nutritional breakfast, things like that. Where am I feeling resistance and what might it be trying to teach me? Where am I feeling resistance? Where am I feeling resistance? I'm trying to tune into my body right now so I can maybe pick up on any cues. I don't know. I feel like I'm just being kind of hard on myself today. I feel like maybe I need to give myself some compassion. I do. I just feel like that inner critic is a little bit more there today than it is other days. And yeah. Just to be compassionate, but I think it's also telling me that I do need to really start taking my sleeping schedule serious. And not allow myself to be swept away by these different characters and stuff. Be like, doesn't have to be like immediately just start going to bed at 10 or something, but set a timer and just, be like, we're gonna start winding down now. And even if I don't sleep, like, just learn how to be comfortable with the silence and being uncomfortable and like just listening to meditation, like, because I just don't get tired until then now, because it's just like my circadian rhythm is off, right? But I'll just be mindful of it and everything, and just kind of force myself, like, gently, but force myself to sit and just to sit there. Okay, so I think that's an area, because it's the time, especially because summer is coming up. I don't want to be sleeping in until like 4 p.m. and then like not be outside while it's like sunny and nice and have like a full long day, because it's like once you start your day at 4 p.m. it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Oh yeah, and then this is going to be a guide to just like figure out my alignment with awareness and not abandonment. So as I start to kind of unpiece things and figure out like, where do these relationships fit into the picture? Where does my job fit into the picture? Where does where I live fit into the picture? And once I start to feel like that resistance, or like I'm outgrowing those things, like that's why the resistance question is there, then I can be like, okay. And make adjustments as needed without just like abandoning it, because I've had a problem with that in the past. Like, instead of repairing things, I'll just straight up fucking leave it. And I need to do that. This is an opportunity for me to not just be like, oh, I'm growing as a person, I'm gonna leave everything behind, but do it gently and with a lot of awareness and intention as well. Okay, anchor of integration. Time, flexible whenever. Purpose, engage the mirror maze without getting lost in it. When triggered, pause and ask, is this okay? So this is like if I'm triggered. Begin parts, work, dialogue in your journal or out loud. See the parts of me that wants to run, numb, destroy, distract, etc. I hear her, I will not bend to her will, but that does not mean I am abandoning her. So maybe which parts of me need some love today? I think Cypher is pretty active from last night too. So I think him. And then obviously I think focusing on the embodied self as well. But yeah, I feel like her and Cypher probably. So anchor of creation, 30 to 90 minutes, 3 to 5 times per week, or just like flexible. Step into sacred creator energy in a sustainable soul aligned way. Poetry, voice memos, YouTube videos as channeling tools, building my dream into a blueprint, writing, studying expression, sharing, making a playlist, singing and dancing, organizing / cleaning my room, spaces, cooking, sketching and painting, Instagram post, challenge, do something once a week that future you would thank you for. So movement with intention, going to the gym, going on walks, celebrate afterwards. So yeah, for today, I think with this one, I think me channeling this into a YouTube video is good. Stepping into that creator energy, right? Because I do feel more inspired right now and creative and everything, so that's how I know that, like, yes. But I started making some playlists, so I could add to those, like, later. Like, that makes me really happy. I like doing little stuff like that, because I'm just, like, naturally very, 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 very into this. Like, just creating in all these little different ways. Like, I just a creator, but mainly writer, honestly. Okay. Anchor of connection, relationships, community, and soul. Time, fluid and organic. Create your circle to support your unfolding. Honor boundaries. Feel into resonance. Ask, does this interaction call me forward or pull me back? What does love, not guilt or fear, want me to do in this situation? That's a good question to ask as I'm going to hang out with my friend today. What does love want me to do? Well, for one thing, pray. And for another thing, give him a big fucking hug. Like a huge hug. And does it call me forward or pull me back? Honestly, it kind of does both. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah. I mean, I feel like I can be myself with him, you know, but it's like, I also kind of want to protect myself because of what's possibly going to happen, and that makes me fearful. Like, I don't know, not to the point that it's like debilitating or I think about it all the time or when I'm talking with him, but just that, like, it just makes me sad, you know? Like, I just fucking care about him. I don't want that to happen, but it's okay, I guess. Like, it's not okay, right? It's not okay, but I also have to accept that, like, I've done what I can and that, like, I'm just not meant to play some of those roles in his life, and I am doing my best without actively neglecting myself. That's a good one. Have a 20-minute soul conversation with a friend, yourself, or through prayer and journaling. So I could pray. I can pray at any point though, right? So maybe I'll do that at some point. But yeah, that's a video. And now I'm going to go and make myself some breakfast. I'm going to, even though I am not even fucking kidding you, I ate like 3 bowls of cereal last night. I like went to the store and I bought 2 boxes of cereal, and then I went home and I ate them. I ate 3 bowls of cereal. And my hot water is out. It's been on and off in my house. So that's awesome too. So I get to take a cold shower, yay! But before I get in, I try to like hype myself up, and I'm like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be so enjoyable, and turn on some music and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to go and make myself some food, and then I'm gonna sit out in the sun, and then I'm gonna get in the shower, get ready for the day. I'm gonna head to a park and do some meditation there, just allow myself to be out in the sun. Thank you for watching.